Hello and welcome to Hall 2 here at the NEC in Birmingham for Digital Health Rewired 2025, the biggest digital health conference in the UK. We're here for a busy show floor behind me, well underway, 8 different stages, packed programme. And I'm here to give you a little bit of a flavour of the event. We're going to chat to a few people, some chairs of some sessions, some speakers, and a few people from some companies exhibiting today. So follow me, let's take a look. We're here on the busy Rewired 25 show floor. I'm delighted to be joined by Damien Pearce, Chief Commercial Officer at Stalis. Thanks for joining me, Damien. You've got a session coming up later in the day. Can you give us a little flavour of what's to come in that?
Yeah, looking forward to the session later on. It's going to be really good. I think there's lots of experts there. We're talking big data in the NHS and how that enables patient care and operational synergies. I think it's going to be good.
Yeah, and what kind of themes do you think are going to come out of it? What are the main key takeaways that you're hoping from that kind of session?
I think the key themes are interoperability, so how systems talk to each other without there being too much and a rework in the core systems themselves. We're talking about patient access, security. There's been sessions today about data breaches and how they've been managed, learning the lessons from those incidents to ensure that we have good patient access, but still retain the security that we need.
Great. And kind of Rewired in general, what else are you looking forward to? And for a company like Stalis, how is this kind of beneficial to be amongst other like-minded people?
Rewired is great. It's one of the few opportunities you get to meet and hear and talk to people who are engaged in programs today, rather than hearing about them later on. It's such a fast-moving space. We're looking at AI. As soon as you think you know AI, it's moved on. So this is a great opportunity to understand what's happening now, where it's going to be used in the future, and how we can use that at Stalis to better enable our projects.
Brilliant. Thanks very much, and enjoy the next 2 days.
Thank you.
Now joined by Lee Rickles, CIO at Humber Teaching NHS Foundation Trust. Lee, you've been chairing a session this morning. Can you give us a little sense of what that was about and some of the key takeaways?
Yeah, thanks. The session was around workforce and digitisation, so keeping people at the centre, so whether that's a patient or it's a healthcare practitioner or it's a digital professional, how we make all that work. And in some ways we got a view from the vendor market, and we got from Helen from NHS Wales and also Dan Ryan from NHS England, and Dan did give a bit of an introduction about the current situation in NHS England as well.
That's great, and obviously in terms of NHS England, there have been some big news this week, obviously with the announcement it's going to be abolished. What kind of an impact do you think that might have on the digital health sector?
So realistically in the short term, probably not a great deal on the health sector in its totality, in the digital sector in its totality. The world will still go on, there's still a job to do. We need to do that, move into a digital business. It will mean that people will lose focus as there is an organisation change. We've had that previously with like the NHS Digital to NHSE move, and I really do feel, and my heart goes out to the people that are going to be impacted by the change, but fundamentally in the short term I really don't see there's going to be a big impact. I think there'll be a bit more interest around what happens with the 10-year plan and what comes out of that, and how wacky or weird the ideas of the mystical group that's doing that on themselves brings out.
Yeah, highly anticipated that 10-year plan. And finally,
well, only if it adds value, Jordan. Only if it adds value. There is a risk that actually nobody buys into it and it gets ignored.
Yeah, and finally, what else are you kind of looking forward to over the next 2 days here at Rewired?
So I'm really looking forward to the international speakers. Europe have really overtaken us in the last 2 years. From the point of view we're struggling to actually just get electronic prescriptions working, where in Europe now you can get your prescription in Rome and get it dispensed in Lisbon, for instance. Also looking at some of the other work around user-centered design and where some of the innovation on EPRs are. And I can't get away without saying the AI as well, albeit where AI has a real application and a benefit, not AI for the sake of AI.
Absolutely, yeah, well said. So thank you very much and enjoy the next 2 days.
Yep, no, I'm sure it's going to be brilliant, Johnny, and it's always a brilliant event, is Rewired. It's the highlight of my year.
Me too, thanks. Here at the Access Group stand on the Rewired show floor, our co-headline sponsors, of course, the Access Group alongside Microsoft. And I'm here with Alan Payne, Group Product Engineering Director at the Access Group. You've been speaking in a session this morning. Could you give us a little flavour of what that was about and some of the key takeaways?
Absolutely, and pleasure to be here. Thank you, Jordan. So key takeaways were around the integration of the patient at the heart of all the care we do. Now, definition of a patient being a customer or a consumer of healthcare is vitally important. And we talked about the stakeholder engagement that needs to happen, that it's not just about the patient, but it's also around the people that care for the patient, whether it's 5.5 million unpaid carers at one end of the spectrum, or the doctor or the nurse providing clinical care at the point of care.
Great, and what else across the 2 days are you kind of looking forward to in the Rewired programme?
Well, this is the pinnacle event of the year. We really enjoy coming here. We're delighted to be co-sponsors this year as well. And just the networking that you can do, the people you can meet, and quite frankly, the conversations have been truly awe-inspiring.
Absolutely, yeah. Thanks, Alan. Thanks to the Access Group as well for co-headline sponsoring. And yeah, we look forward to the rest of the day. I'm now at the Alcidion stand with Paul Deffley, Chief Medical Officer at Alcidion. Thanks, Paul, for joining me. You're speaking in a session tomorrow here at the event. Could you give us a little flavour about kind of what that's going to be about and some of the key takeaways that you're expecting?
Of course, yeah. So our session's based around looking at AI and the impacts that AI can have, and really thinking the technology's one thing, but the reality of deploying that and making sure the benefits are resolving problems that our clinical and operational teams are experiencing. So it's making sure it's not AI for AI's sake, but actually looking at resolving problems that people have in the clinical workflow and administrative workflow. So really excited to be sharing that, and then we have a panel afterwards where people can ask questions about adoption of AI and what are the sort of secrets to not only developing it but getting the uptake really good and the engagement really good.
Sounds great, definitely a session worth going to. And across the kind of the next 2 days, what else are you looking forward to, and why is an event like Rewired important for a company like Alcidion?
Rewired's fantastic. There's a real community feel to Rewired. There's a tremendous amount of knowledge that's held across the health system, and getting to meet with different people and just connect with them, have a different type of conversation that you normally have either on Teams or informal structured meetings. So the networking and the ability to meet people from a range of different organisations, just to share information and just look at best practice is great. So from our perspective, it's brilliant to be here, to meet customers, to meet other vendors, to meet people in national roles, and have the opportunity to attend some of the sessions where we're hearing about policy and direction of travel. It's just a really rich experience from start to finish.
Thanks, great, Paul. Thanks for talking to me, and good luck with the session tomorrow.
Pleasure. Thank you very much.
Cheers. That's it for day one here at Digital Health Rewired 2025. Busy show floor as always here at the NEC. It's been a good event so far, lots more to come. We hope we're giving you a bit of a flavour of the event, and we look forward to day two tomorrow. Stay tuned.